Morning. I am Reggie, Associate Professor, Department of ECE, Rohini College of Engineering and Technology. Today we are going to see about second unit space segment altitude control. On completion, students will be able to understand about the altitude control subsystem, define the disturbances, torque forces, explain about attitude control method. Attitude control. The attitude control subsystem should accomplish the following. Ensure that the directional antennas point in the proper direction. Make the earth sensing instrument to cover the required region. Keep the solar array pointed towards the sun. Disturbances torque. Disturbances torque are the forces which can alter the altitude. External forces, gravitational field of the earth and the moon, solar radiation and meteorite impact. Internal forces that use different methods. Horizon detectors, measure of satellite orientation in space, measure of satellite tendency to shift if horizon detector or infrastructure sensor which are used to detect border or edge of the earth in space. By taking the center of the earth as the reference, four such sensors are used, one of the quadrant of the earth. Therefore, if there is any shift in orientation, a satellite will be detected by one of the sensor. Here RPY roll axis, roll pitch yaw to the center, earth center, roll axis, pitch axis. Roll axis perpendicular to y and p, pitch axis normal to orbital plane, yaw axis directed towards the earth center. RPY axis. The three axes which define a satellite altitude are roll, pitch and yaw axis. All these three axes pass through the center of the gravity of the satellite. For an equilateral orbit, movement of the satellite about the roll axis moves the antenna footprint north and south. Movement about the pitch axis moves from footprint east and west. And movement about the yaw axis rotate the antenna footprint. Basic attitude control system. It will have a sensor, spacecraft attitude, processor, control system. Attitude control method. Which will have attitude control method, have passive attitude control method and active control method. Passive attitude control. This method uses some mechanism to stabilize the satellite without using the energy supply, and overall stabilizing torque will be applied. Example, spin stabilization, gravity gradient stabilization. Active attitude control. In this method, corrective torque are applied against the disturbances torque and there is a no overall stabilizing torque. Example, momentum wheel use, electromagnetic coil method, Mach expansion device method. Spinning satellite stabilization. Here you can see the geostationary orbit will have north pole and south pole with the satellite spinning either in northwest or east-west direction. Spin stabilization can be achieved with a cylindrical satellite. This satellite is constructed so that it mechanically balances about one particular axis and then sets spinning around the axis. For geosatellite satellite, the spin axis is adjusted to be parallel to north-south axis of the earth. Spin rate is typically in the range of 50 to 100 revolution per minute. Spin is initiated during the launch phase by means of small gas jet. Momentum wheel stabilization. One wheel stabilization system will have pitch, yaw, roll. Direction of height. Yaw or roll control thrusters, pitch movement wheel. Pitch control thrusters are horizontal sensors. Two wheel stabilization system will have pitch momentum wheel, yaw wheel, pitch wheel desaturation thrusters sensor, yaw wheel desaturation electromagnet. These are all the part of the two wheel stabilization system. Reaction wheel system. Reaction wheel system will have pitch wheel, yaw wheel, row wheel between the center of the system, and we will have desaturation thrusters and sensor at the other side. So here we can see the basic questions related to attitude control. What are the disturbing torque force altering the attitude? Draw the block diagram of attitude control system. What do you mean by passive attitude control? So this attitude control is very much important in satellite communication. If you see the satellite communication, how a device or the different varieties of device is communicated from one end to other end. So mostly if you see in our own attitude control method, there are several techniques to be employed in this method to overcome certain difficulties. So these are about the attitude control. Thank you.